All right, and welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for both a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. The offseason rolls on with just over a month until the landscape shakes up yet again with the NFL draft taking place on the North Shore of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yes, that's right. So we thought we would fire up a little game of good cop, bad cop with our top early 2026 fantasy football breakouts and busts. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, keeping you on the straight and narrow tonight by sharing the players I'm avoiding at current ADP. And back with me is my ragtag partner, a man who is really just a man of the people, both up there in the Boston area and across this beautiful nation as well. He's got all the breakouts for you tonight. He is Steven Lawson. Steve, how you doing? And right off the rip, what is your favorite cop duo of all time?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm doing fantastic. I got to sit down last night on our recording of Popcorn and Root Beer and talk with one of my favorite actresses in the world. So I'm riding high. Favorite cop duo. I mean, it's hard to go away from Starsky and Hutch. Gotta love Starsky and Hutch, right? They're fantastic. There's a lot of cop duos. I love Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan in Rush Hour.
Okay.
I'd probably have to go with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan as Detective Carter and Inspector Lee.
Can I give you my top three?
Yeah, go for it.
Schmidt and Janko, Jump Streets.
Yep.
Holtz and Gamble, the other guys.
Fantastic.
Peralt and Santiago, Brooklyn 999.
Peralta and Santiago, yeah, they're great. They're great. Yeah. I could even say put Captain Holt in there somewhere, and I'm with you.
Sure, that doesn't make it a duo. That's a trio, though, right? Or is he just a beast of a man that he's a duo by himself?
He's enough for two people because he's serious. He carries the emotional moments and some of the funniest moments of that show.
He does. Is it Brooklyn 99 or 999? Are there 3 9s or
Brooklyn 99?
Okay. Yeah, I never finised that show. It was a good ride though while I ran it. So yeah,
it's on Peacock. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, maybe when I need something like I'm doing Landman right now. That's what we're running. We're running some land.
How's that?
Check that. Not bad. I kind of like. I don't think you would like it personally, but like for me, I really enjoy it.
You know what you should watch? It only got one season. It got canceled, but it's called The Bondsman. It stars Kevin Bacon. Fantastic supernatural show.
Isn't Kevin Bacon like not a good person, or is that Kevin?
That's Kevin Spacey.
Oh, Kevin Spacey. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it there. And a quick reminder that the easiest way to support the program is to please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the brand new IBT podcast sub channel right here on YouTube as well. That's youtube.com/@the-IBT podcast. You can go over there and fire it up, check all the great NFL and whether that's dynasty, rookie rankings, redraft, we got it going on. We'll have some NFL betting futures coming your way soon as well. You can check it out right there or subscribe to the main channel as well at IBT_media. We'd appreciate that. But Steve, let's go ahead and fire it up here with a little headline hijinks and get some good cop, bad cop underway. All right, Steve, it is headline hijinks. We are talking breakouts and busts now that, ADP starting to shape up a little bit. We're going to get another big change in it once the draft happens. But right now, I feel like we have a pretty good, mindset of what we're looking at when it comes to average draft position and, of course, the Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings. I asked Katie this a lot, but do you want the good news or the bad news first? What do you think?
Bad news, always.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's true. I usually take the good news, but I think
I'd rather the good news soften the bad news than the bad news ruin the good news.
That's good. Yeah. Good point. Well, let's start it right there. Then, Irving, under investigation, fantasy managers told to avoid the scene. Yes, my bust is Bucky Irving of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, current ECR RB13, 36 overall, and I think everyone has seemingly forgot this guy had a pretty lackluster sophomore season, right? And he finishes the overall PPR RB34, RB18 on points per game basis. And yeah, a lot of that has to do with the injury, right? Had the shoulder injury, had the ankle injury, missed a big part of the middle of the season. Yeah, he was also incredibly inefficient when he returned. And even before he left as well, he averaged only 0.67 fantasy points per opportunity. That's 62nd best at the position. 3.4 yards per carry. The true yards per carry, 3.5. So not any better. I mean, we're all always, tagging on and ragging on Rachaad White for how inefficient he is. Bucky wasn't much better last season. And this was all the concerning part, Steve, is this was while facing a stat carry front on only 3.5% of his carries. That's 48th highest among running backs. So I think he's going to see more stat carries now because Mike Evans, he's out of the picture. He's going to take some of that top off the defense no longer. So, and then you also have to factor in Kenneth Gainwell's coming. Like Kenneth Gainwell's a real running back. He's going to steal some pass catching work. He finished 5th among running backs in targets, 85 targets for Kenny G last year, 4th in reception, 73. So super efficient with his opportunity. Baker Mayfield's going to love him. And also 5th in receiving yards with almost 500 yards. So I think when you factor that in, I'm just fading him again. I faded Bucky last year. I had no exposure to him because he was a late second, early third round pick. I wanted no part of it. I have him at RB20, so I'm 7 spots below consensus right now. Give me Jeremiah Love. Give me Derrick Henry. Give me Breece Hall, Kyron, Javonte, and really everyone in that, late teens to, high teens tier over someone like Bucky Irving this season.
I'm totally with you. And it's not only did they bring in Kenny Gainwell, they brought back Sean Tucker, who is the goal line back. So now you're looking at he's losing the passing work and he's losing the touchdown work. And this offense was not nearly as efficient as it used to be. I mean, they've lost coordinators left and right. And eventually it is going to kind of, the chickens have to come home to roost. I don't
overpaid for Cade Otton.
Yeah, they overpaid for Cade Otton, but Bucky Irving coming out of college was not a highly sought after prospect because he's an unathletic, quote unquote, running back, right?
Yeah.
He is slow.
And he's also 190 too.
Yeah, he's small, he's slow. And while he had a phenomenal rookie season that came out of kind of left field, it seemed unsustainable because it was so efficient. It was beyond efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It was just explosion, supernova of production for a guy that just didn't profile to be able to do this. He profiled a lot more like Clyde Edwards-Helaire than he did Devon Achane. So this is really something that we need to keep an eye on, that maybe this guy just isn't as good as we thought he was, or that a lot of people thought he was. You and I both were kind of out on Bucky Irving, never really bought into the hype. And they're bringing in specialists to do the things that he's not able to do. I wouldn't be shocked if we see him relegated to a committee role, a true committee role where he's not the between the 20s guy. He's kind of let's rotate him in. Let's get Kenny Gainwell in. Let's get Sean Tucker in, because the best game of any Tampa Bay running back last year came from Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
So there's concern for Bucky Irving.
I think he is very good for what he was drafted to be, a day 3 running back. And it reminds me a lot right now. I'm running a dynasty on NCAA 25, and go through my first season. I had a Heisman winning wide receiver, the Doak Walker Award winner at running back. They left, they're gone. And now I'm just using some freshmen, who I'm just hey, I might as well play the young guys. My team sucks. I scheduled way too hard of opponents for a down year. And my running back's my best player, right? He's my best player, but he's still just kind of above a guy. You know what I mean? He's been great for my team. He's a great story, but I'm kind of just waiting for that 5-star recruit to come in, right? So that's kind of how I feel about Bucky Irving here in a sense as well.
I totally get it, but man, you got to hit the portal, man. I'm a portal man. I'm a portal guy. Me and my buddy are running a dynasty.
They ain't coming to Toledo. That's the thing.
You're running out of Toledo?
Yeah, I'm running out. Yeah, and I'm so dumb because I got a couple SEC job offers. I'm no, I'm sticking true to Toledo. And then I had the 121st draft class or recruiting class. That it was not good.
I am so good at recruiting. It's insane. I found the formula for NCAA.
We're getting better. You're running Florida State though. It's a little easier.
I've done it at I like to start with weaker schools.
Okay.
I'll start at a South Carolina or something like that and work my way up.
But I've pulled multiple.
SEC. I've pulled multiple number 1 classes out of South Carolina.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Steve, he's got that recruiting going on.
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you. And you actually have a running back here and a headline that I like a whole lot better than mine that I actually would prefer, especially going at this cheap of a cost.
Yeah, so Etienne on patrol. He's set to serve and protect your running back room. This guy's going off the board right now at RB 19, where he just had a, I believe, borderline top 10 finish
Yep.
at the position. He was
10.
RB 9. He was 10, right? Like, this dude was electric last season, and now he's signing in New Orleans with a head coach in Kellen Moore who knows how to feed the running back position. And not only that, he doesn't need 25 touches a game to be ultra productive in this scheme because Kellen Moore is so creative with what he does with the running back position. Now, there are going to be detractors to this take that are like, but what about Alvin Kamara? What about Alvin Kamara? I think the time has passed. We've seen the wheels kind of start coming off of the Kamara train, right? So I would expect him to be moved, released, or used as a specialist. But Etienne signed a big deal with a team that didn't have that much cap to like kind of F around with, right? So
finally had some cap after being in cap hell for like 7 years.
Right. But like their strategy of just, we're going to keep kicking it down the road till all of these guys retire and then they're off the books and we've won the battle. Like they literally like, were like, we'll lose the battle to win the war. And eventually it was a war of attrition and they won. Like
the day.
Like everyone retired and the NFL raised the salary cap and they're like, woohoo.
Yeah.
And they went and got themselves a running back of all things, which means Kellen Moore had his eyes locked in on Travis Etienne, or Travis Etienne, as he has corrected us. And it's, what's so funny about that name thing is it's so obvious that is what it's supposed to be. Like Etie, that's HN. Like that's how you would pronounce that. That's a very like French Creole kind of style.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like a Bayou thing, but like like a Cajun thing. But
maybe because I went to college down in like the Panhandle of Florida, and I got a bit of that Louisiana, Georgia kind of like stuff.
But then Etienne is also Etienne in French, right? We have a French Canadian gentleman, and his first name is Etienne, that works with us at Fantasy Pros behind the scenes.
Yes,
and he Etienne.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I do expect him to be a bell cow running back in a system under Kellen Moore, where the biggest problem for Tyler Shuck last year was that there was no running game. There was no way to protect him. There was no way to like disguise him and get those easy play actions. Now he has a guy who is 26 years old, fresh off of a real strong season, showed what he can do. And even then he was in a timeshare of sorts. I expect his production to go up as his usage goes up. It's going to be very exciting.
I'll tell you what, man. Travis Etienne, certainly an interesting customer because comes in with a lot of hype. And, still, I think some people were questioning the Urban Meyer first round pick back in the day. But then he misses all of his rookie year with that Liz Frank injury. Has had 4 seasons since then, though, Steve. 3 of those he's gone for 1,000 yards, and that includes an RB3 finish in 2024, RB10 in 2025. And I just think he's the perfect fit for this Kellen Moore power run scheme. I know you don't usually think of Etienne as a power runner, but he really is. He's more of a power runner than he is like shifty and quick, which I think a lot of people kind of put in his profile coming in. Because how many times do we see it in that 2024 season where the Jaguars were just trying to run him on stretches and outside zones, and it just was not working until Liam Cohen really was like, hey, we're going to go, use you through the tackles and on those guard combos rather than someone like Tank Bigsby. And let's keep in mind, Kellen Moore too. He helped Saquon go for 2,000 yards. Obviously, I think the difference is between Trevor Lawrence and Tyler Shuck, at least from what we saw from one season. Shuck needs to start checking it down a little bit more. Shuck likes to use his legs a bit more. He's thrown to running backs 3.8 times per game, Steve, compared to T-Law, who's about 4.6 last year. So we'd like to see that come up a little bit more. But you can't tell me right now, Travis Etienne has, I'd say RB6 upside overall. I don't think he could be. Yeah. If Kamara's moved, and maybe if the Saints add another pass catcher, or maybe they upgrade that line, because I was under the impression the Saints had a pretty good run blocking line, but from what I've heard from Saints fans, that is not the case. So either add an interior guard.
It feels 50-50 on that, right? That might be a little bit of cope over the fact that Alvin Kamara just isn't what he used to be, and it's hard to see. It's hard to see your favorite player get old. It's just tough.
Well, and then you're also running out just practice squad guys. Kendre Miller, who should be on the practice squad.
I very much expect the Saints to wind up with like a Carnell Tate or something like that in the draft this year.
Yeah, they might have to go even like, I think Tyson,
Tyson would be great. Lemon would be
yeah.
great. I mean, guys like that, I think would be really great for the New Orleans Saints.
But you can't tell me that like RB6 overall upside. I think that's higher than Bucky's. I'd
I'd go high. I'd say he could be a top 5 guy. He's done it. And if he's the only show in town
yeah.
in a Kellen Moore offense, I'll never bet against a Kellen Moore offense.
Yeah.
It's too good.
But I think like Bucky's upside is like RB8, RB9, maybe like on the best of outcomes
for that too, yeah.
And I think the floor is a lot lower, and you're drafting Bucky closer to that ceiling, while Etienne, you're getting him pretty like I don't see a world where he's worse than RB19 or RB20. It would be real like the Saints would have to be
not the floor. This is
shit.
Like the basement. I mean, this would be crazy if he hit RB19.
I'm in here, man. I mean, this is a 5th round price, right? Like this is a 5th round price tag you're getting him at here. So definitely in on Etienne or 8. Are we making? We got to make a ruling. Are we going Etienne? Or are we?
I'm gonna stick Etienne until I hear someone else where he is called Etienne.
Well, he other than himself.
He said, "Oh, I tell people it's Etienne, but it's Etienne." I guess I can go Etienne. I don't care. It's good with me.
It's going to take some time. But it's going to, because even Etienne himself took some time to, you know what I mean? Figure out how
Etienne has almost become his nickname at this point. Everyone just puts Etienne.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we had that title a couple weeks ago in an episode. Before we keep it moving, real quick reminder that the easiest way to support the program is to please give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you want more of us, head over to the IBT Football family. That's our exclusive community where you can get access to chat with our analysts and viewers, and also entry into our memorabilia giveaways at absolutely no cost. And if you want to get access to our full betting cards and the touchdown call contest during the season, you can upgrade for $3.99 per month or $36 for the year. That will also include unlocking all the benefits to our IBT Racing family, where we have our full betting cards every single week, 38 weeks out of the season, even some F1 races, some Indy races in there as well. We have betting models for all of those 38 Cup Series races as well, the head-to-head contest happening over there. The IBT Entertainment family, Steve, just firing up right now. We have everything from Steve's exclusive monthly betting model for the Rotten Tomatoes over-under odds on Kalshi. We also have entertainment betting picks we're making there exclusively as well, and the Survivor 50 League, which has been a lot of fun so far this season. In third right now, big episode coming my way here in just a little while as well. And then the IBT Golf family, Jake, Ian and the boys and Mike are doing such a great job with that as well. You can get access to chat with them, memorabilia giveaways, also access to the exclusive betting model and the picks and the one and done contest. So much goodness happening over there. You can join for free right now in dashbetweenmedia.com/chat. It's all one price, or just join for free. Come join the conversation. We have a bunch of free contests every single year. It's great community over there. And Steve, let's get back into it here, because I'll tell you what, man, I'm glad our boy Eric Romoff ain't on the program today, because I think I might have to take him downtown for some domestic disputes after this one, because Burden booked early, charges of overhype filed in Chicago. Luther Burden, I think, is going to be one of the biggest busts this season from a redraft perspective, right? ECR, wide receiver 21, 42 overall. Like, this feels like you're just putting the cart before the horse here, man. Like, this is the 4th round, a mid-4th, not even a late 4th round pick, a mid-4th round. We just talked about Travis Etienne that you can get pretty much a full round later. There's other pass catchers we'll talk about in this offense you can get a round or so later. And, like, I'm not going to deny, like, the late season mini breakout. I was betting Luther Burden, reception props like a fiend in the playoffs. However, we also can't look past it like, hey, Roma Dunze is still going to be the X. We're expecting now Luther Burden without DJ Moore. He will come on the field more as that flanker in 2 wide receiver sets, most likely, unless they go out and add someone else in the draft or something. But to me, you also then have last year's 10th overall pick in the NFL draft, tight end Colston Loveland, who I'm expecting another step forward for him, man. And like, it was a very quiet season for Loveland, it felt like, but he actually led the Bears with 58 receptions, 713 yards, and 6 touchdowns on just 82 targets. Like, imagine if he gets another 20 targets. Like, we're talking, borderline Trey McBride type of numbers before this last season when McBride took another step forward. But like, for me, I've always been a little bit down on someone like Luther Burden, because I thought he was a little bit more of a gimmicky guy. I still kind of think that's the case. However, like he does have those really, really strong efficiency metrics on his side. And I will give you that. Like you look at yards per route run, you look at, fantasy points per reception, per route run. It's really, really good. However, there's still some things he's really struggling against, man. And the biggest is man coverage, right? He posted just an 18.5% target rate against man coverage, 66 best at the position. So he's a great zone beater. But as far as man coverage, he's not getting the separation still. And we also need to see that average depth of target, the ADOT, jump up, right? It's only 7.7 right now. That's 87th among wide receivers. So, like, he could be a Khalil Shakir type of guy where he's going out, getting you 5-6 catches, 50, 60 yards, maybe a touchdown every 5 or 6 games. However, like, I just think right now we're drafting him where he's going to be more than just kind of a slot maven for the Bears. And like right now, underdog fantasy, right in line with the ECR here, 42 overall on underdog. So even a little bit earlier, it's just too much for me, Steve. When I can get, like, if I want a piece of this Bears passing game, which I do, I'll go ahead and take Colston Loveland in the next round. And you know me, like I like to have Tyler Warner in a lot of my teams, but I'll take Loveland at a discount, or like I'll even wait a round or two to get Rome.
I don't know if you're gonna get Loveland that late though. His value is right now like tight end 4, tight end
it's
3.
high. It's high.
It's really high. I like Luther Burden because Luther Burden has that dog in him. You know what I mean? I watched him play last year, and he was a physical receiver. And the one thing you want to remember is that this is a Ben Johnson offense. Slot man is going to eat, because we saw and we had the same worries about Amon-Ra St. Brown, that could he be an elite receiver with the low ADOT? And he can. And it's because, like, you're able to, where the NFL has shifted so much more to a zone defense, like, not being able to beat man is still a problem, but it's certainly not the problem it used to be, say, 10 years ago. We've gone to a zone heavy system. We've seen Mike McDonald like lead the charge almost of like being like, I'm going to zone exclusively, almost like we're in zone. It's that old Seattle Seahawks, like Legion of Boom style, like rush for the rest of it's like a no-fly zone. I like Luther Burden because Ben Johnson clearly wants the ball in his hands. And when the ball gets into his hands, while it's a low ADOT, he's explosive with it. He's almost like, it's like a running back. You put him into space and he's as deadly as anybody in the league almost.
I don't know about that.
That's what his thing is. Like, and when you move someone like DJ Moore, who was gobbling up some of those designed targets as design touches, as Eric loves to reference these design targets, right? That this is now going to Burden, unless something unusual happens in the draft and they wind up with another wide receiver, and all of a sudden it's like another mess, right? But so far, all signs indicate that they believe that Luther Burden is that guy, is that dude that we saw at Missouri his junior year versus what happened his senior year that turned in, or his sophomore year into his junior year. The year before his last year in college, it got away from him. That Missouri team fell apart. But the year before, he was a Biletnikoff contender.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So, had he been able to declare, or had he declared he's a first-round talent, has a significant downturn in production in college for reasons that may have been out of his control. And here we are. I think this was the perfect landing spot with the perfect mad scientist head coach, with the perfect gunslinger quarterback that can get so much out of him. And yes, you are buying, kind of putting the cart before the horse, but that is where so many of these values come from, where a top 12 finish may not be out of the realm of possibility, or even incredibly, like, not that unlikely, given what Ben Johnson's able to do with that offense.
Just today, he's actually gone up 2 spots in the Fantasy Pros ECR, Steve. He's now 40 overall. So an early 4th round pick for Luther Burden, or do you want Loveland at 48? You can get him, 8 picks later.
You know my feeling about one-off positions. I like to wait. So I guess it's starting to get rich. I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't feel good. You're not sitting there.
That's what I'm saying. I just think you're drafting towards the ceiling.
So the problem is you're going to go into drafts, and everyone who's watching this is going to go into your draft, and you are either that the Burden guy, or you're not the Burden guy.
Yeah.
And you're either going to,
there will be one every draft,
or you won't get him at all.
Yeah. 2 wide receivers on the move. Would you rather Luther Burden or Jalen Waddle? Now in Denver.
Luther Burden.
Okay. Would you rather Luther Burden or Mike Evans now in San Fran?
Luther Burden.
Luther Burden or Devonta Smith? Assuming
Devonta
AJ
Smith.
Brown is still there.
Devonta Smith, I think.
Devontae Adams.
Luther Burden.
Okay, see, that's crazy. I've never taken.
Some of these guys are old. Some of these guys are old, and
sure,
then
I don't care.
maybe Jalen Waddle. Maybe I feel a little weird about that one, but Cortland Sutton's still there, so that's like, yeah, there's a mess.
Let me tell you what I was telling Fitzy how much like I want to be on the turn in my drafts this year and just like sitting on that 11, 12 first and second round turn to maybe go like pocket aces with like a gent if there's no like elite wide receiver there left. Maybe go like a Genty Jeremiah Love and then come back and get my receivers in the third and fourth. But I ain't taking Burden. I ain't taking Bucky Irving right there. So maybe I don't want to be on this turn. And your boy Ladd McConkey's right above there.
Can I tell you who maybe if you wait and don't take Burden, who can give you a little bit of that pop that you're looking for?
Yeah,
a little bit later on. All right. How about Chris Godwin going off at number 69 overall, wide receiver 33, almost double what Luther Burden's going off the board at. You almost get a whole extra, like, what is that? Like 3 rounds. It's going off in just about the 7th round right now. Late 7th at this point. That is extreme value for a guy who just watched Mike Evans walk out the door, who has a whole year of coming back from that injury, who is still only 30 years old. Chris Godwin, we seem to forget every time that he has a slightly down year or something happens that this man is an elite wide receiver at the NFL level.
Yeah.
And has proven it time and time and time again. Baker Mayfield's still there. Yes, Emeka Egbuka is there. I don't think that's going to eat into him as much as having all 3 of them on the field did. It seems like there's a logjam issue at running back. Maybe you have to worry a little bit about Kenneth Gainwell taking some of that easier target share away from him. But Cade Otton, that's not a threat. He is now the de facto end zone target. It becomes him instead of because he's a.
We know Cade Otton ain't catching touchdowns.
Yeah, he's not catching anything.
Doesn't look his way.
He's just not getting it done. Chris Godwin knows how to score touchdowns. He knows how to get into the end zone. He knows how to break out of those routes really well. He does beat man. He does beat zone. He's an excellent wide receiver. I've loved him since he was at your home of Penn State. I've been a fan of Chris Godwin the whole time.
Baby.
Yeah, I've loved him since he was a Nittany Lion. And I remember saying when he was declaring for the draft, I was like, someone needs to grab that Chris Godwin kid because he is amazing. I have loved him since the day he entered the NFL, and I will continue to pound the table for Chris Godwin until I am blue in the face and long after he retires, 3 years after no one signs him like T.Y. Hilton.
I don't hate it at all. I also don't hate Emeka Egbuka. I am curious who will run from the X in 1 wide receiver sets and 2 wide receiver sets. I think it's going to be Emeka is what they're listing on their depth chart right now, and that we are going to see Godwin stay in the slot at least for 3 wide receiver sets. He'll obviously play flanker in 2 wide if we do have Emeka in the X. Emeka's a little bit riskier though, just because like when he had to play the X last year when there was no Godwin and there was no Mike Evans, he struggled a little bit. He was actually best. He was actually best playing flanker, right? So it was really interesting to see that. So I think Chris Godwin is a lot. It's safety. And like, honestly, dude, like you look at that pool of wide receivers he's in, and I feel almost safer. Like maybe he doesn't have like the ceiling of DJ Moore in Buffalo. But I certainly think he has just as high of a floor. I think he has a higher ceiling.
I think he has as high a ceiling as anybody. We've seen him finish as the wide receiver 2 now in points per game twice.
It's been a while though. It's been a while, right?
A few years ago, before he broke his ankle, he was
that was an 8-game sample size though, if you're extrapolating that. So
right, but that's what Chris Godwin is though. He is a chain mover. He is a PPR monster. I think he's gonna do, if he stays healthy for 17 games this year, I think he hits 100 receptions.
Let's get out of here on this. Would you rather in 2026 draft Chris Godwin or DK Metcalf?
Chris Godwin all day long.
Jacoby Myers.
Chris Godwin.
Marv.
Chris Godwin. Miss me with Marv.
What about Cortland Sutton?
Chris Godwin.
So you're high.
I'm very high on Chris Godwin.
What about Mike Evans himself?
It's still Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin right now, probably. I haven't done my rankings yet. I'm sure he's a top 15 wide receiver for me right now.
Wow. So you're aggressively 20 or so spots above ECR right now in Chris Godwin. Yeah. I love it. All right, man. All right. Well, Great stuff tonight, Steve, as always, man. And can't appreciate you enough, as well as the entire IBT family who rides with us every single episode. We hope you guys are enjoying more of these shorter form episodes. Hopefully our schedule is going to let up in a little bit, that we can even do some more of them as we continue to get closer and closer to the NFL draft and the NFL season itself. If you can do us a quick favor, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribing to that entire new sub channel. Again, that's youtube.com/ at IBT podcast. Make sure you plug in there, and then also subscribe to the entire IBT Media YouTube channel. We've got NFL fantasy football betting over there, college football betting, NASCAR betting, PGA betting, and entertainment betting and reviews, all to help you cash more and to enjoy that ride along the way, because that's why we play fantasy sports. That's why we sports bet, to come together as a community and to have fun watching our favorite things. So be sure to check out the website as well, in-betweenmedia.com. We've got dope written content over there. Trash Ben doing great jobs putting out all the written articles and blogs and betting models over there. And also make sure you check out that community as well, in-betweenmedia.com/chat. Come hang out with Steve and I after the shows as well. For my friend Stephen Lawson, I'm Seth Woolcock. Thank you so much for watching. And keep it in between until next time, folks. Thank you.